Everybody's found themselves in a little bit of a slump when it comes to practice and inspiration for getting going again. I just want to give you a quick idea of where I go when I feel a little bit like that about my own playing. So first of all, I've probably identified an area of my playing that I'm not quite happy with, whether that's something to do with fingering, whether it's to do with articulation, whether it's to do with my sound, or overall feeling about the way that I'm playing at the minute. And once I've identified that area, I have my go-to material to get on the music stand just to get me feeling better about my playing again. So what I've noticed over the last week or so is my fingers aren't quite working as I want them to. I've been working on my scales, I've been working on my sound alongside that, but just something's not clicking. And so I looked along my music shelves and I spotted this. The Piazzolla Tango Etudes, a book that I probably had for about it's probably about 17 or 18 years now. But it is a book I keep coming back to. I'll just give you an idea of the scribbles that are in this music. A lot of them from my old teacher, a lot of them from myself when I was working on this music. And it's great to come back to that, just be reminded about the work that you have to do to really get your fingers working again. It's a fantastic stuff. If you don't know these tango etudes, you probably recognise the melodies in them. A lot of them are taken from a lot of other Piazzolla tangos. They are for saxophone and piano, but they work very, very well as standalone studies. They don't actually need the piano part to go along with them. Partly because of Piazzolla's amazing writing, the harmonies that are evident just with the way that he's writing throughout these studies are just absolutely amazing and a lot of fun to play. Now, the reason why I've chosen this one to get my fingers working is from this section here at the bottom. And I'll just show you the second page here as well. A lot of jumping around, a lot of accidentals thrown in there, a little bit to do with articulation as well. But I'm not doing it for articulation purposes. I'm looking at this as a finger exercise. So how quick can I move between these different bars, these different finger positions to make me feel a little bit more comfortable about my fingers? How am I going to approach that? Well, I'm going to do it really, really slow. So there you would have heard me take out all articulation. I was a light tongue on every one of the notes because it was just the finger movement that I was looking for. And that's all I'm using it for. I'm just taking out that aspect of finger patterns, finger movements within that study, not playing anything else. I'm not worried about dynamics. I'm not worried about articulation. I'm kind of not even worried too much about my sound. I know that I can work on that another time. And as I warm up, this is the first thing I've played today, by the way, which is probably why I'm sounding a little bit ropey. But it really helps me get my fingers working, gets my fingers moving. And once I've got that real sense of where the instrument is and where my fingers are going, suddenly things start to click into place and I can focus, I can move my mind onto other areas of playing. Things like the sound, things like the articulation, things like dynamic, things like the way that I'm presenting that phrase to a listener. Pretty short video today, but I just wanted to give you an insight into a practice session of mine and the way that I'm feeling at the minute and what I do to respond to that. I could quite easily say, well, you know what, it doesn't sound very good. I'm not even going to engage with it today. Let's just leave it where it is. And no, try to identify what it is you need to work on. Identifying that study is really important. Find something that you enjoy playing as well, especially if you're in a little bit of a slump about your playing. Try and find something that's going to inspire you. Try and find something that you already know. You've worked on a lot. You've done the groundwork in getting it under your fingers at one point. Get it back on the music stand and get engaging with it again. That is certainly going to inspire you. It's going to get your fingers working, and that, for me, is why we revisit studies, why we come back to studies, to inspire us, to remind ourselves about how we got where we are today.